I wanted to do a short review and show you guys some of the stuff that this Kenwood Excelon DDX9902S will do in a 2013 F-150 using the iDatalink Maestro ADS interface module. This kit also includes the iDatalink K150 dash kit, which you can see there. But in a minute we'll turn the stereo on. I'll show you some of the really cool stuff that the radio is able to get from the network of the truck. You actually get some features that you don't even have from the stock truck. I removed from here the 4.2 inch sync Ford display and the Ford radio. This truck had the satellite, had sync, and the single disc player is what was previously installed, and it has a factory backup camera which displays in the mirror. So that's what we started out with. So this is the main menu screen. I'm not going to go through all the details, but the biggest thing I want to show you was some of the car interface. They call it OEM features, and I also wanted to show you a little bit about Android Auto. I don't use an iPhone, I use an Android. But this stereo is actually compatible with both iOS and Android. I don't have the cell phone plugged in to the data cable here down at the bottom, so the options are a little bit different than once I plug in. So we'll just kind of show you some of the inputs and things. It has a all source button there. Those are all your different options that you can run. CD, the CD's hidden behind the tray. I can show you that. So that's where you load your CD. HD radio, which is nice. iPod, USB, HDMI. And if you use the K150 dash kit, you can actually carry those connections down to where they're accessible in the little storage area. This says Sirius XM on the screen. I didn't buy the optional Sirius tuner. I don't ever listen to Sirius. I don't subscribe, so I don't have that installed, so it doesn't actually work in this one. But if I had bought that optional tuner from Kenwood, it would work. So let's show you the OEM features. This is kind of the cool part. So the satellite radio, I don't think it's going to work because I pulled out the original Ford radio. So without the Ford radio, which is where the satellite tuner was, it's not going to work. So that one's not going to work. I do still have access to sync, right? To sync the sync system. I don't ever use it. I think you'll even.
Line in. Please say a command.
I'm not ever going to use that, but it's still there. That's part of the programming option, by the way, on the iDatalink Maestro. When you flash that at setup, you get to decide, do you want to keep sync features or do you want to let them go away? Anyway, the sync phone system is still available, but I turned it off because I didn't want the sync phone system competing with the stereo's phone management system. So it can get a little confusing in that respect when you have multiple phone systems in the car. This other one's kind of cool. Gauges. You get gauges that you don't normally have access to. Intake temperature, there's fuel level, not that you wouldn't have that one. Engine load, and there's some different presets you can switch. There's engine timing. Anyway, you can customize those. My understanding is that what gauges you get are different based on your vehicle, the year of the vehicle, and the stereo. This is what you get with the 2013 F-150 using the iDatalink Maestro kit. You get a certain set of gauges to pick from. So that's kind of cool. This one's kind of neat. The climate, even though you get climate controls in the K150 kit, they look just like the factory controls you pulled out, and they really act just the same. You also get the controls here, so now it's touchscreen, which is kind of cool. You can just touch things, and it works just like it did before. It didn't change anything about your car. These boxes are for heated seats. I have aftermarket heated seats, so it doesn't show up there. But yeah, it's touchscreen. It's kind of cool. You didn't get that before. Outside temps at the top, 48 degrees. Parking assist. This is kind of nice. I don't know if I can make it work. We'll see. Yeah, I'm not close enough to hitting anything to make it work, but you can see I'm actually in my garage a little bit, and I was able to connect my camera system to the Kenwood so that I get my reverse camera also in the mirror, but still there. Let's see if it might, those sensors might be too far away from anything to make it go off. But if I were near something and you would hear that regular beeping sound that you normally get, you would actually see it shown on this graphic where the item was and even its distance to the back of the vehicle, which is super cool. You don't get that normally. The vehicle info, another neat little feature that you don't normally get. Tire pressure. The Ford 2013 F-150 tells you when you have a low tire, but it doesn't tell you which one. That's always kind of annoying. But now you can see on a graphic that it's left front or whatever. You also get door alerts like that. If you get a check engine code, you can check the code, even reset it. There's your voltage shown there. So that's pretty cool stuff that you didn't get from Ford directly, that because it's on the network, it reads this kind of interesting stuff. I'll show you the Android Auto. So for this to work, you have to unlock your phone. You can't see it because it's in the cubby hole, but then you plug in your data cable, the USB cable. It only works with the USB cable for Android Auto. And it will detect my phone, make me accept the options, and Android Auto is now available. Give that a second to come up. So there's Android Auto, and it kind of starts with the home screen. Uses the cards. If you use it to Google, it's kind of, you know, you see those cards all the time. There's the weather. And so you have navigation here across the bottom. This particular Kenwood stereo does not come with navigation built in. You can get it that way, but I didn't want to pay for it because I use Google Maps all the time. So there's your navigation, recent places, you know, different places you might have been. It also looks at your calendar to see what's coming up. It does a really good job of predicting where you might want to go. So that works super great. Of course, the directions are spoken through the stereo. Works really good. Here's your phone interface. That's the home screen again. This is your music panel. And basically what you can do is you pick different sources that are Android Auto compatible. I got Amazon Music, Dogcatcher, Google Play, NPR One is just some example. They have lots of them in there, and some of them come kind of pre-built in your phone, and this will just find them, and then you can pull them up. Maybe there's some Christmas music or something in here. Yeah, Christmas music. It's that time of year. So you can just let that play like that, or you can get to it from the home screen. And you got thumbs up, thumbs down. And that kind of switches depending on the audio source as to what's available. And you can search for, this is Amazon, so it would be a little bit different than what music source you use, but you could pick different radio stations to listen to, for example. I'm going to play that one. And let's see. What else I want to show you? This last button just gives you this option to go back to the top menu. It really isn't necessary because you have a menu button on the screen. So if you want to go back to the Kenwood's menu, you just press menu and you're there. And if you want to go back to Android Auto, you can just hit that. And if I were going to adjust my heat and air, if I make a change on the physical knobs, you see it opens my climate control, and after a few seconds it'll go back to my Android Auto. And of course if I go to reverse, Brings up my camera. Those lines are adjustable, by the way. So the parking lines, you can set those. And if I were looking for drawbacks, it'd be that the screen is kind of hard to read in direct sunlight. When the sun's really coming in, it tries to wash it out. And then you put a pair of sunglasses on top of that, and it can wash it out even more. But it's still usable. Oh, I didn't show you. You still have all the Google voice features installed as well, which is cool. And you can push the voice button on your steering wheel to get access to it. How's the weather?
It's 30 degrees and cloudy in Oklahoma City.
Everything you can do on your Android phone by voice, it'll do through the voice button on your steering wheel. I think that's pretty much it. I just really wanted to show you a little glimpse of Android Auto and some of the Ford features that you get with using the interface kit.